Have you ever stayed committed to something beyond its expiry date? I had a couple conversations recently, and I'm noticing that there's this pattern around being committed to decisions because they were made at some point in time and they felt really good to make those decisions and those commitments to those decisions. But what ends up happening is life changes, desires change, goals change, opinions change, growth happens, expansion takes place. And those commitments, based on the original set of circumstances that we were operating from, don't really fit anymore. What's happened is the imprint of the commitment is still there. It's bubbling beneath the surface. And it's really causing people to stay stuck. So I'm wondering, what are you currently committed to that you can't quite figure out why you can't put it together, or perhaps the ideas aren't making sense, or the pathway forward isn't making itself known to you? It might be because you're committed to the wrong thing and that you've committed to something that no longer suits you. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling that you can't get momentum on something, it might be time to evaluate what it is that you're sitting with. In one instance, this person is so committed to this belief or this idea that is unhelpful to them. But because of past circumstances, they're holding on to it. It's almost like they want to just stay in that energy because it's easier to do that than to lean into trust again. And so they stay committed to the old wound rather than expanding past it and simply trying again. Our old wounds don't necessarily keep us safe, right? They usually keep us stuck and stagnant and resentful, especially if the people are still around us who were part of that original wounding. And so the commitment then has to change typically if we want expansion or growth. In another circumstance, someone a handful of years ago decided that they wanted to have a particular type of business and that it was going to happen in a certain amount of time and it was going to look a certain way and so on and so forth. But they have had so many changes in their life, so many changes, that it would be near impossible for that commitment to have taken place. And yet, they're kind of in this shame spiral about having not created what they thought they were going to create. And so they stayed committed to the idea because they thought that's what they were supposed to do. These rules, right? So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling demotivated, if you're feeling like you can't get ahead or you can't get the wheels turning on something, maybe the question needs to be, is this commitment past its expiry date? Is there some new desired outcome given my new set of circumstances, given my new energy, given my new focus, that I need to commit to instead? We need to get comfortable with allowing things to be released from our grip. When we hold on to things we don't really need, it doesn't help us. So my invitation to you today is to think about some of the stuff you've committed to recently, or even in the past. Does it still feel good to stay committed to those things, those ideas, those concepts, those plans, those beliefs. Does that still align for your true self? I would love to hear. I'll talk to you soon.